All right, this is SAT Prep. We're doing test 3, section 3, and this is number 5. If 5 over x equals 15 over x plus 20, then what is the value of x over 5? So there's a couple different ways to do this. One way to do this is to go ahead and solve for x, right? And then figure out what x over 5 is. So that's probably the way that I would default to doing it, but I'm going to show you another option in a minute. So I would probably solve, right? I would probably use cross multiplication to solve this proportion. So I would say, hey, if a fraction equals another fraction, I can cross multiply. So 5 times the quantity x plus 20 equals a 15x. 5x plus 100 equals 15x. 100 equals 10x, so x is 10, right? And then you could double check that that's true if you plug in, but then we didn't want x, right? So this is a trap, right? This is a trap answer because they didn't want x. They want x over 5. You've seen one like this before, right? They want x over 5. So x over 5 is a 2. Right, and that's great. That's answer C. The other way to do this, I suppose, is if you wanted, you could reverse engineer and plug values in, right? The trick is you'd have to recognize that all of these are actually x over 5. So the other way to do this, right, so let's say you didn't see that, you could say, oh, I get that these are all supposed to be x over 5. So if x over 5 equals whatever that answer is, right, then this would be saying that x is, you'd multiply the 5 over it, this would be x is 50, right, this would be x is 25, this would be x is 10, and this would be x is 5 halves, and then you could literally plug those in, and then you could check. Like you could actually check them and see if they work, right? You could plug in 50 and say, well, is 5 over 50 the same as 15 over 70? It is not the same, right? That's 1/10 and not 1/10, so it's not A. You could plug in the 25 and say, is 5 over 25, which is 1/5, the same as 15 over 40? 1/5 is not the same as 3/8, not the same. And then you could plug in the 10 and say, well, is 5 over 10 the same as 15 over 30? Oh, hey, there's my winner. That is a true statement. It's answer C. So there's a bunch of different ways to get to the same answer. I would, again, have just solved for x, and then I would make sure that I answer x over 5. But there are different ways to get to the same answer.